Morning, Matthew. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. I hope lockdown's treating you well, Richard. Hope things are safe and well.
Well, I've been trying very hard just to make sure that I only come from work to home, home to work, and all those sort of things. And I've been a very good boy about it, except I had to go out on Friday and I had to go out on Saturday. And I didn't really want to, but I had to. Anyway, there we are. And I've got to go out again today, but what do you do? I'm just trying to keep away from people.
You don't realise how much you do travel out from your home just to do small little things, and then you have to think about everything. Can I justify this trip?
Well, I have to justify the one today because I've got to go to the chemist.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the other day I did have to finally go to a supermarket. I didn't want to, but I was out of the basics, bread and milk and bananas. Bananas are one of my basics.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mate, a 140-inch screen in your house, okay, fair enough. But there's a new way of doing it with glasses. This is a good idea.
We have talked before, Richard, about one of the problems with a big screen TV is having a wall big enough to put it on. There's also that minor issue of cost. You go and put a 140-inch TV on your wall, you're probably going to spend 50 grand or thereabouts. But yeah, you're right. TCL have got this great new little innovation. They've got a pair of glasses, and you wouldn't be able to make these glasses only a couple of years ago because they're relying on micro OLED in the actual glasses. So it simulates a couple of centimetres from your eyes. It simulates a 140-inch screen, which sounds absolutely incredible. The great part about it is you normally would have your big screen in your lounge room, for example, but with this, and especially lockdown, you might be watching more TV than normal. You could go and sit out in the backyard, or you could go to the kitchen or lay down in bed. Basically, wherever you can put a pair of glasses on, which let's face it is everywhere, you can use these glasses. They've got a USB-C connector, so any device you've got that outputs a video signal on USB-C will go straight into them. And they're not like a pair of, say, virtual reality goggles that are big and clunky. These things are actually nice and compact. The only thing that's a bit bigger is the arms are a bit bigger because they've got little speakers inside them, so they're right next to your ears. So they look like a pretty cool little device. I actually thought of another use for them as well. Back in the old days, Richard, when we used to be able to fly and you'd fly from country to country, if you can remember back that far ago, I used to sit there and used to be a bit annoying to people around me because I'd always pull out my computer and be working away on my computer. But I thought this would be a great way to actually work on a computer with a huge screen and no one else can see it, and you wouldn't be annoying people with the glow of your screen because you'd be seeing it all just on your glasses.
A wonderful idea. I want a pair. Where do we get them?
They are available now, but I'm pretty impressed with the price too. They're less than $1,000. And when you consider if you went and bought a normal TV, a decent-sized TV, you're easily paying $1,000 for that now. Then a pair of glasses that gives you the equivalent of a 140-inch TV, albeit just by yourself, you're not going to be able to sit around and watch it with other people, then I think that's quite a reasonable price.
Yep, I think so. Yep, okay. I'll look out for them.
Yeah.
Good idea as far as I'm concerned. Diabetes, now we're all looking at treatments for diabetes, and this diabetes implant sounds like a really good idea.
It's a next step forward from what I've seen already. I've got friends of mine that are diabetics that have got a little cannula, or a little unit, they sit in their back pocket, for example, if they're out riding their bike, and they have a little cannula that goes under their skin. And that's a fairly automated process, but it's still a couple of manual steps with it. But it's a bit clumsy because you've got to have this thing hanging outside your body all the time. Well, the next step is they basically take that technology, ramp it up a level, and then basically insert it underneath your skin but outside your stomach. And so it can actually monitor insulin levels and inject insulin as you need it. Now, the first two things I thought of was, well, how do you charge it up, or has it got some long life battery in there? We've talked about wireless charging on our mobile phones. This uses the same technology. It's got a wireless charger. So you actually put the charger up against your stomach, charge it up, and away you go. And then the second thing, Richard, I thought, well, you've got to have a fair supply of insulin because surely you've got to keep releasing insulin as you go. So they came up with another brilliant invention. They actually have magnetic capsules that you swallow. And this device is actually inserted into your stomach, and it's got a small piece of metal there to actually attract magnetic devices. And so the insulin gets attracted to this, gets taken into the device, and automatically refills the insulin. I think I'm making this up, Richard. It sounds just an unbelievable bit of sci-fi, but it is true. These things are available now. They're being tested in pigs as we speak. They're not squawking too much about it all, and so they'll be soon available for humans.
Oh, look, that's a great one, Matthew. It really is a good story. And for diabetic sufferers, they must be just saying, oh, yeah, like the glasses. Get me a pair, get me those little packs right now. I need them. I want them.
Look,
Sounds
I'm not
good.
a diabetic, but it sounds such a cool bit of technology that I want one as well.
With the vacuum cleaner at home, when it runs out of power, I just swap the battery and put another battery in it, and that's how it all works. We're going to do that with electric vehicles. Now, that was started before. It didn't work last time. Why is it going to work this time?
Well, it may not work this time, but there's certainly a company that's raising a fair amount of money. And someone sent me a video the other day, which was a brilliant little video. It was about 50 years ago, this video of a taxi. And I was saying electric taxis are going to take over the world. This electric taxi just has a battery swap. And they show this little mini crane that came out a bit like a forklift and took one battery out and put another one in. And I thought whoever made that video was way ahead of their time because we still aren't there yet. But another company called Ample has just raised $160 million on the promise of battery swapping. And what they're trying to work with is they're trying to get all the manufacturers to get to the point where they have a common plug structure and a common size battery so that when you do go to the equivalent of a service station, you don't need to plug in and charge up. You just drop one battery out, drop a new battery in, and away you go, continue your journey. It sounds
Hang on, car batteries are fairly heavy. They're going to have to make them a bit smaller, a bit lighter, surely, to make it a quick swap.
No, I think what they'll do is they'll aim for, most car batteries are down low, so they're in the base of the car. I think the plan is so that basically you'll have a device that comes up underneath your car, effectively removes one, slides out, another one slides in. So you won't have a guy standing there lifting one out and moving it aside. It'll be done via an automated process, not like a forklift that you can see manually above it, but underneath the car. And so that's the sort of plan to do it. Something similar to this is already happening in China now. You've got one particular company, NIO, that's actually doing something like this already. But it really gets down to the bottom line, Richard, of getting different manufacturers to agree on a standard. And that's so difficult. If you remember the old VHS beta wars, I mean, it's so difficult to get companies to say, yes, that's the way we'll all go with this, that's better for all of us, because everyone thinks that they've got a better mousetrap, everyone thinks their method is better. But Ample, well, as I say, there's $160 million of investment that's gone into Ample already to try and get to the point where you've got this common charging infrastructure to be able to swap batteries in and out.
Yep. Question without notice, Matthew. There's a scam going around at the moment, and stuff or something or other. I read it in the paper at the weekend. I'm just wondering, can you remember the name and do you know anything about it? Sorry.
That's right. It might be Flubot.
That's it.
Yeah. So Flubot is probably the most common mobile phone scam ever in the history of scams or malware or viruses. There's been some bigger viruses on computers, but on phones, Flubot is the number one ever. And so what's happening is you'll get a text message, Richard, that'll say something like, you missed a voicemail, click on this link to hear it. Or over in Europe, it was very big in Europe a couple of months ago, they were more saying, you missed a parcel, click on this link to get your parcel. I've also seen some where they say that your service provider needs to or give you an update or send you a bill, whatever excuse it comes up with. Essentially what you'll get is a text message. It'll ask you to click on a link. When you click on that link, it'll ask you to install this app to allow you to get the information, to get your latest voicemail, whatever it might be. Do not click on that link to install the app. Do not install the app. When you install that app, that's installing the actual malware. And what it then does is go through your address book and sends the same message to everyone in your address book. Very friendly of you to do that for everyone else, but also installs an invisible layer over your phone. Everything you type in your phone and every message that comes up, including that text message from the bank to say that here's your SMS code to allow it to be safer for you to log into your bank, is all being sent to someone somewhere else. Now, you're not going to like this next bit of news, Richard. It doesn't affect iPhones. It only affects Androids. So for once, all the security they talk about with iPhones is coming to the fore. It doesn't mean you won't get the message on an iPhone, but if you clicked on the link, it won't install an app on your iPhone because the app it's trying to install is specifically an Android app. That doesn't mean you're safe forever with an iPhone. It just means from this particular bit of malware.
Yep. Well, the reason I ask is because a friend of mine was trying to get her result back from her COVID test, and every time it wasn't ready, but she started getting these bits and pieces of information. Tap here, tap there, do this, do that. And then I was talking to a bloke yesterday, and he was getting the same thing, both on Android, I agree, and obviously they're just wiping them, saying not doing anything. Then I thought, gee, this is going around the place at the moment. Obviously some people are going to be conned.
Yeah.
And it looked savage. It looked really savage. And this lady was getting 3 or 4 at a time.
Oh, yeah. Some people are being inundated with them. We've seen some people that have come in with 10, 15, 20 messages on there. And we've actually seen a couple of clients who have clicked on it. And it's pretty easy to be tricked by it because it looks so legitimate. And you think, oh, yeah, modern technology is moving ahead. I guess that's how I get my voicemail now. Or the example you gave is a good example. Someone might have been in for a COVID test and maybe they'll start sending some out now that say, to get your test results, click on this link. Oh, okay, I just had a test the other day. I'll click on the link. So
Yep, that's happened.
Yeah.
And they didn't spell COVID properly.
And the reason they do that, you see them and they come to you with spelling errors. That's a bit of a red flag. They do that because if carriers see, so if Telstra, Optus, Vodafone, etc., if they see messages coming through that always look identical and they know they're a scam, they can block them. But when they send through all these different messages that are spelt differently, they're worded differently, they do that deliberately so that the carriers can't pick up about the same message coming through their systems.
All right. Yeah, it's tragic. It really is. And unfortunately, some people are going to be caught. We've run out of time, mate. It's 9:25. I was going to talk about sun-reflecting fabric, but we might leave that till next week. Matthew, as always, good talking with you in Tech Talk, and we'll catch up next Wednesday morning. We do it all again.
Thanks, Richard. Stay safe out there.